Students, let's do Brahmanath. Om. Om. Santi, Santi, Santi. Swasth.
Good morning students, welcome back to class again. Today we are going to start another topic from your cell, that is your biomolecules. What are biomolecules? Bio means living and the molecule which represent most of your organic and inorganic compounds inside your cell. Before going to today's class in detail, let us discuss some important points what we have studied in the previous classes. In the previous classes, what we have studied the cell structure and its basic organization. Cell, it is the basic unit of life, as you know. Why it is the basic unit? Because most of the function of your body, it is function within your cell, and it is known as your basic unit of life. And inside the cell, it is covered by your cell wall. And based on the presence of cell wall, cells may be of two types, that is your animal cell and plant cell. Plant cell usually having the cell wall, and animal cell they devoid of any cell wall. Then inside the cell wall there is presence of the protoplasm, and inside protoplasm there are several cell organelles are present, like your mitochondria, chloroplast, plasma membrane, then ribosome, then chromosomes. These all cell organelles comparatively important inside your cell, and they constitute the most of your function inside your cell. Okay, and without these cell organelles the cell will be unfunctional. Okay, these topics we have discussed in the previous classes. Why cell it is important, and besides these cell organelles, cell also needs some proteins, enzymes, and several macromolecules and micromolecules inside our cell. And these macromolecules and micromolecules are essential for building of several amino acids, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid. These are the main composition of your biomolecules. That's why biomolecule is very important for the cell and the survival of your organism. It may be plant, it may be animal, it may be your prokaryotic cell, all need your biomolecules. And all the organisms, it may be plant, it may be animal, they have the similar biomolecules. Suppose protein and amino acid, plant also need protein, and our body, human body also need the protein for our survival, or for different reactions inside our cell we need the biomolecules. That's why the biomolecule is very much essential for survival of a cell. Okay, first before going to in details, first know what is biomolecule. Bio, you know, all know that bio means it is living, bio means living, and molecules means most of the organic and inorganic components which are present inside our cell. Most of the organic plus inorganic component, these are known as your biomolecules. Then what is the definition of biomolecules? We can define that all the molecules present inside cell are called as biomolecules. And we can find different types of biomolecules inside your cell, and these types of biomolecule inside your cell are known as your, what is that, cellular pool. You can write that point. Different types of biomolecule constitute cellular pool. Okay, what is the cellular pool means? That is, it is a combination of both organic and inorganic component inside your cell, and it it is very important for cell survival. And next point is that these cellular pools, basically it is chosen by your plasma membrane or the cell membrane. We all know that cell membrane is a selectively permeable membrane. Okay, then we can write that point: cellular pool is mentioned by taking and rejecting molecules by selectively permeable membrane. What is the selectively permeable membrane inside your cell? The selectively permeable membrane, it is your plasma membrane. We all know that. We have studied that plasma membrane is selectively permeable and it is present after cell wall. Present after cell wall. Okay, and it is very important because it mainly selectively permeable, and most of the molecule which are needed by your cell, suppose this is the cell and it is having the plasma membrane, cell wall, then plasma membrane is present, then the molecule which is present outside the cell, they will get into the cell that are needed by your cell, and the molecules which are not needed, they will take out or go out to the cell, they are rejected by your cell, and those are needed by your cell, they will enter to the cell. Okay, and this is known as your selectively permeability, and these molecules which are present inside the cell, these are known as your cellular pool. Okay, note on these points and we will discuss what are the different types of cellular pool which are present inside our cell. Now let us discuss about some types of cellular pool. As we already told that cellular pool is of two types. One is your organic and another one is your inorganic. One is your organic constituent and inorganic and mostly the inorganic constituent is mostly of water, mineral and gases that are included inside your inorganic constituent. And if you consider about the organic component, it is mostly of two types. That is your first, that is your micromolecules and macromolecules. Basing on their size, the organic constituent can be divisible into two types. One is your micromolecules and next one is your macromolecules. If you consider about the micromolecules, they are usually smaller in size. They are usually smaller in size, simple and soluble. Okay, as they are very small in size, they are soluble in intracellular fluid. Okay, and if you consider about the macromolecules, they are the macro means the large form, it comes from the micro. Micro means very small, and macro means they are larger in size. And these are large in size, complex in structure, and insoluble. Okay, in intracellular fluid. What is intracellular fluid? Intracellular fluid, it is the fluid present inside your cell. And if you consider the micro, they are the smallest, simple and soluble. If you take examples which are present inside your cell, the macromolecules, these are your nucleotides. If you consider some example of your macromolecules, these are nucleotides, then amino acid, then glycerol, and some monosaccharides. Besides these organic components, the inorganic component, that is your water and gases, they are also included inside your micromolecules. That is water and gases. They are also example of your micromolecules as they are very small in size. And if you consider about the macromolecules, most of the protein, nucleic acid, and polysaccharides. Okay, these are some examples of your micromolecules and macromolecules. Usually the micromolecules, these are the building blocks of your macromolecules. Suppose the protein, it is made up of amino acid. If you consider about the polysaccharide, it is made up of your monosaccharide, like your starch, it is a polysaccharide. And if you consider about the nucleic acid, DNA and RNA, it is made up of your monosaccharide, that is your nucleotides. Okay, what are the nucleotides? Nucleotides are the, if you consider about the nucleotides, then it is the mixture of your, it is mixture of nitrogenous base, then sugar and phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid. These are the essential component of your nucleic acid, that is nitrogenous bases, sugar and phosphoric acid. You will later know in the second year what are these components. First, you know that this is the component of your nucleic acid. And nucleic acid, the nucleotides, it is the main monomer of your nucleic acid, that is your DNA and RNA. Okay, note down these points. Then we will first discuss about one of the important biomolecule, that is your amino acid. Okay, which is a micromolecule. Okay, note down these points. Let us discuss about one of the important biomolecule, that is your amino acid, which are the building blocks of your protein. Most of the protein which are present inside our cell, that are essential component of your enzymes. Okay, these are formed by your amino acid. You can write that point. Amino acid are building blocks of protein. If you represent that, suppose several amino acid. Okay, these are some amino acid examples. Suppose this is one amino acid, this is one amino acid, and this is one amino acid. And these three amino acids, they are united by a bond, that is known as your peptide bond. Okay, that is known as your peptide bond. Okay, these amino acids, they usually unite to form a complex structure. Amino acid, as you know that it is a simple structure, that is a micromolecule, and they unite to form the macromolecule, that is the protein. Yes, that is the protein structure. And usually around 200 amino acids are there. 200 amino acids are present, out of which 20 amino acids are present in protein. If you consider about how much amino acid is present in the living cell, there are about 200 amino acids which are present inside your cell, but out of which 20 are the important amino acids. These are usually present inside your protein. That is, most of the protein we have the inside our cell, they are having the 20 amino acid, different types of amino acid. We will later discuss what are the types of amino acid. Then, if you consider about the structure, their basic structure is that chemical structure of amino acid. You can draw that. That is, okay, it is having two groups. One is your carboxylic group, this is your carboxylic group. You have studied in chemistry, okay? And this is amino group. This is amino group NH2, which is a amino group, and carboxylic acid or carboxylic group. The formula is COOH, and amino it is formula is NH2. And these two groups are united or are attached to the carbon, and this is known as your alpha carbon. Okay, it is known as your alpha carbon. And if you know that the carbon having a valency 4, that's why one group is attached to the, that is your carboxylic group, then another is your NH2 group, that is amino group, and this is another side chain, and R, here R represents the side chain of your amino acid structure. Side chain, or we call it as, here you can write that point, R is the side chain or alkyl group, okay? And this R group, which is a side chain or alkyl group, usually changes in different amino acid. It may be H, it may be CH3, it may be CH3OH, and based on their side chain, the amino acid property also changes. Okay, different types of amino acid having the different side chains. Suppose if you consider about the glycine, it is having the H, and that's why it is known as your, if you draw the structure of the glycine, here H is present, and here the carboxylic group is present, here amino group is present, and this R changes due to the changes of the R side chain. The name of the amino acid is given by glycine. It is the example of your glycine, which is a most of the simple amino acid. It is a simple amino acid. Why? Because in the side chain it is having the hydrogen, that is H, and due to this property, it is having the two group. One is your carboxylic group and amino group. You can write that carboxylic group having acidic property. Due to the presence of carboxylic group, it will provide acidic property to the amino acid. And the amino group, which is the NH2, this will provide basic property. This will provide basic property to the amino acid. Due to this property, that is acidic property and basic property, these are two separate properties present inside a single amino acid. Due to the presence of different types of property, this is amino acid. This amino acid it is known as your deuterium ion. Okay, what is called? You can write that point. Due to presence of these two property, amino acid is called or known as deuterium. Okay, ZWIETER, that is your deuterium. These are the basic structural component of your amino acid. Note down these points. Then we will discuss about different types of amino acid based on their function and their property. That is your acidic or basic property. Note down these points. Okay, one point is that these three amino acids which are joined to form the protein structure. Okay, so you can write that they join to form protein. Okay, at that point we will discuss about types of amino acid. Okay, if you consider different types, what are the different types of amino acid? Already we have told that amino acid having two groups. One is your carboxylic group, which is the acidic, and amino group, which is the basic group, which is present inside your amino acid. And if you consider about the reaction, these are the acidic and basic reactions. If you basing on the reactions, amino acid may be, one is your acidic amino acid and these acidic amino acid usually having two carboxylic group. Two carboxylic group and one amino group. As we know that carboxylic it is acidic in reaction, or it will provide acidic property to the amino acid, and amino will provide the basic property. As two carboxylic group is present in that amino acid, then it will obviously provide the acidic property to the amino acid. That's why it is known as a acidic amino acid. The example it is your aspartic acid and glutamic acid. These are two examples of your acidic amino acid, that is they are having two carboxylic group. Then next one is your basic amino acid. Basic amino acid. As we know that basic amino acid, it contains the amino group, or the amino group will provide basic property to the amino acid. That's why it is having two amino group and one carboxylic group. As there is presence of two amino group, here you can see the amino group will provide the basic property. As there is two amino group, then it will known as your basic amino acid. And example is your arginine and lysine. These are two examples of your basic amino acid, that is having the basic property. And third one is your neutral amino acid. Neutral amino acid. As the neutral condition is here, then there is no acidic or basic condition. That is the acidic and basic condition it is balanced, and that's why if you know the pH 7, it is the basic, or it is a neutral condition, that is either it is acidic or nor it is basic, that is they are having the balanced condition. And you can see that here there is presence of one carboxylic group and one amino group. That is their acidic property, and basic property is balanced due to the presence of one carboxylic group and one amino group. And then example of your neutral amino acid are glycine and alanine. Okay, these are some basic amino acid basing on their reaction. Note down these points, then we will discuss different types of amino acid basing on their presence of different groups. Okay, now basing on the function, basing on the reaction, we have discussed three types, and basing on the presence of, then second one, basing on presence of functional chain on side chain, functional group, sorry, it is your functional group on side chain. Amino acid may be of four types, that is first is your sulfur containing amino acid, sulfur containing amino acid, and alcohol containing amino acid. Then third one, aromatic amino acid. Then fourth one is heterocyclic amino acid. Okay, these are four types of amino acid, that is they are having the functional group. Already we know that the side chain, it is here we have the side chain, that is R, here COH and NH2 and here H, and this is known as your side chain. In this side chain, the different functional group it is present. If here it is presence of the sulfur, then it is known as your sulfur containing amino acid. if sulfur it is present in the side chain, and the example it is your cysteine and methionine. Cysteine and methionine. And in case of alcohol containing amino acid, here presence of alcohol in side chain, that is OH group. It is present in the R. And in here example is your serine and 309. You have to remember these examples, okay? Then, if aromatic amino acid it is aromatic group it is present in the side chain, then this is known as your aromatic amino acid. Example is your phenyl alanine and tyrosine. And last one is your heterocyclic amino acid. In heterocyclic amino acid, the R group it usually having the nitrogen in ring structure. And example is your histidine and proline. Histidine and proline. Okay, there is inside the ring structure, there having the nitrogen structure. And these are some examples of your basing on their functional group in their side chain. Note down these points, then we will discuss about the different types of amino acid basing on their function. Okay, now let us discuss about some types of amino acid basing on their function. Main function of amino acid, it is the part of your protein, that is building block of protein, and inside your body, in animal body, most of the protein it is required by our cell, and if consider about the necessity of our body on the basis of function, there are essential, non-essential and semi-essential amino acid. These are considered. First is your essential amino acid. And what are essential amino acid? These are not found in our body, and it is very much essential. Okay, that are these amino acids which are not found inside our body. We need this amino acid. How we will get this amino acid? We will usually get this amino acid from our diet. Okay, from the diet we are taking or intaking different types of food. Then these amino acid will come from that diet only. Okay, that is our body will not synthesize that amino acids. Around 8 amino acids. 8 amino acids not synthesized in our body, not synthesized. What are these amino acids? One rule is there, that rule is your MAT Bill Clydes. Okay, this is the rule to remember the essential amino acids which are required by our brain, by our body. That is, you have to remember that M for it is known as your methionine. Then here A and H, it is included in your semi-essential amino acid. That is not included in your essential amino acid. And T stands for threonine, and another T stands for tryptophan, and V stands for valine, I stands for isoleucine, and L stands for leucine, and P stands for phenyl alanine, and LY stands for your lysine. Okay, here these are the 8 essential amino acids. That is 1 methionine, threonine, then tryptophan 3, isoleucine 4, valine 5, leucine 6, then lysine 7, then phenyl alanine. It is 8. These 8 amino acids it is very much essential for your body. Why? It is not synthesized by your body. It is needed. How it will be formed? It will these amino acids we will take from your diet. That is from food we are taking. And if you consider about the non-essential amino acids, here it is 8 amino acids present. We know that there are 20 amino acids are present. Then second one is your non-essential amino acid. Non-essential amino acid. And it is around 10 amino acids it is present. 10 amino acids. Not needed by body. Not needed by body. Why? Because these 10 amino acids it is present already in our body. And another example is your semi-essential. Semi-essential. Semi-essential amino acid. That is, these amino acids are partially synthesized. That is, they are not fully formed inside our body. They are partial synthesis inside our body. And it is example of arginine and histidine, A and H, which is rounded in red. That is known as your which is essential, semi-essential amino acid. And you have to remember this mat will lie X to remember all these amino acids. What are essential and what are non-essential and what are semi-essential amino acids. Here A is your arginine and X here is your histidine. And another example is your non-protein amino acid. Non-protein amino acid. Why it is non-protein? Because these amino acids which are not involved in your protein formation. Not involved in protein formation. That example is your ornithine, citrulline. Okay, these ornithine and citrulline, these two amino acids, these are not the part of your amino acid. And besides 20 amino acids, which are the part of amino acid, these are not included. That's why it is not included in your 20 amino acid. Okay, note down these important points about the classification of the types of your amino acid. One amino acid is there. Note down these points. And another last one is your, which is known as your rare amino acid. Why it is known as your rare amino acid? Because these amino acids do not code the genetic code. Okay, these amino acids do not code genetic codon. Okay, and example is your hydroxyproline. Okay, hydroxyproline, it is one example of your rare amino acid. Why? The genetic codon, it is usually present in different form. Okay, which is the unit of your amino acid. Later you will know when you will study about the genetic code. You just know that genetic code, it is a codon that is having 3 forms of your amino acid. And as it is do not code for any codon, that's why it is known as your rare amino acid. And example is your hydroxyproline. Okay, note down all these types. Remember all these types. It may come as your short note or short question. And we will discuss about the function of amino acid. Now let us discuss about some important function. What is the main important part or important role of amino acid inside your cell? One important role is that they mainly it is the building blocks of your protein. Already we have discussed that different amino acids, they join together by peptide bond, or they form the peptide bond and forms the protein structure. That's why they are very much essential part of your cell. And they form glucose by losing amino group. Already you know that amino group, it is the basic property which provides the basic property. If it is lost, then that will form the glucose. But it is not in all amino acids. But in case of leucine and lysine, this property or the formation of glucose cannot take place, and that's why it is the deviation from your leucine and lysine. These two amino acids that cannot be converted into your glucose. And then glycine and serine, these are the two amino acids which are involved in photorespiration. What is the main property of the glycine and serine? In the photorespiration, you know that in the photorespiration process, it is the respiration process in which the plant usually closes their stomata, and they in the daytime they usually uses the oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, which is the opposite of your photosynthesis process. And usually in photosynthesis they take up the carbon dioxide, but here in photorespiration process the stomata will be closed and they will receive the oxygen. The plant will receive the oxygen. Later we will know in detail about the, when you will study about the plant physiology, you will know what is photorespiration. And that's why glycine and serine, these are two amino acids, they take part important role by receiving the receiving the oxygen. And now the non-protein amino acid, that is your ornithine and citrulline, we already discussed about that. Then these are the components of your urea cycle which are present inside your liver. And the dopamine, which is also a non-protein amino acid, which is an important component of your neurotransmitter. The different impulse which are transmitted inside your cell, that is helped by your dopamine secretion. And thyroxine is a hormone which is present inside our cell. And another important function of the non-protein amino acid is that they are not the part of your protein, but they help in different enzyme secretion and helps in the antibiotic formation inside your cell. Okay, these are the important property of your amino acid which takes part important role in the formation of protein, and the non-protein amino acid which take part in the formation of different antibiotics and helps in the formation of hormone. Okay, these are the important topics we have discussed today. What we have discussed today? We have discussed what is the amino acid or what are the biomolecules. Biomolecules are the all organic and inorganic component which are present inside our cell, and these all the biomolecules which are present inside our cell, they are known as your cellular pool, and among them all the we have discussed today about the amino acid, and these are the building blocks of protein. In the next class we will discuss about the structure of protein and the types of protein. Then see you in next class. Thank you.